Hi, the Myers fan here, and I'm back to review a movie called 50 First Dates. It stars Adam Sandler as Henry Roth. He is a Marine and a veterinarian, and Drew Barrymore plays Lucy Whitmore. Blake Clark plays her father, Marlon Whitmore, and so on and so forth. I'm not going to read the entire cast. The movie was released on February 13th, 2004. It also stars Rob Schneider as Ulla and Dan Aykroyd as Dr. Joseph Keats, and he specializes in brain disorders. And the movie is about a girl named Lucy Whitmore. She's an art teacher who suffers from something called in the movie they call it Goldfield syndrome, and it comes from a Lithuanian psychiatrist who couldn't remember any new information, and he had to keep starting over again with this book that he was writing. But in real life it's called anterograde amnesia, and it's a condition wherein the victim can't retain any new information. Like, I could tell you my name, my name's Darnell Weeks, and then you'll say, well, nice to meet you, and then I'll say, nice to meet you, and then 10 minutes later you might say, what's your name? And then I'll say, well, I just told you what it was. Well, that's what this movie is about. And I know it's not a horror movie, but I'm including it on the channel because it's very bizarre. It is a real condition. And they try to put all these scientific labels on it, like the frontal lobe and the temporal lobe. And in my honest opinion, they really don't know why this occurs. It is an unsolved mystery, but it happens when you injure your brain, You can hit your head or whatever the case may be. However, I thought the casting of this film was great. You've got Rob Schneider, Dan Aykroyd, Blake Clark, and Adam Sandler brought back a lot of his old buddies from Mr. Deeds and The Water Boy and so forth. And Amy Hill plays Sue. She owns the Hukilau Cafe in Hawaii, and Henry goes there frequently, and he's always hitting on people. And what happened was, on October 12, 2003, Lucy and her father went to pick a pineapple for his birthday, and the father accidentally ran into a cow, crashing the car, and he broke a few ribs, but she hit her head, and that's how she got anterograde amnesia, aka Goldfield syndrome. And basically she relives the same day over and over and over again because she can't retain any new information. Every day she thinks it's October 12th, 2003. And the reason that I selected this movie is because it's sort of like a Groundhog Day of sorts. It just goes round and round and round and round, and they call it 50 First Dates because they've dated so many times. But to her, it's still the first date because she keeps losing her memory. And you have Henry Roth, and basically the movie portrays him as a womanizer. He's always giving women these, BS stories. Oh, I'm a priest. I don't believe in phones. That's why I never call you. I'm a secret agent. I'm this, I'm that. He's a player. And he falls in love with Lucy one day. And so he decided to stop doing all that, and you have his pot-smoking friend Ula, who's a native of Hawaii, and he's played by Rob Schneider. And Marlon Whitmore, the girl's father, played by Blake Clark. Now, he doesn't like Henry at first because he feels that, Henry's taking advantage of his daughter. But then there's a scene where Henry plays like he's being kidnapped, and Marlon is like, wow, if this guy is willing to go through all this for my daughter, maybe he really does love her. And I thought the casting was great. I thought Adam did a good job. I know he often brings back his buddies, his crew, for these films, and I get that. But look, as long as you can use them in the right way, I guess it's all right. And I can't really complain about it because Rob Zombie does the same thing. He brings back his crew, his friends, to play different parts in these films. So, a long story short, he hits on Lucy. She dates him for that one day. Then he goes back the next day. He says, oh, why doesn't she remember me? And then the diner owner, Sue, has to tell him it's because she can't retain any new information. And Henry says, well, this sounds like something I would tell one of the crazy girls that are stalking me. Am I the crazy girl? Adam Sandler, let me tell you guys, 1999 through about 2005, I'm going to say, those were his days. Those were his heydays. He was the man. I'll even take it back a year and say 98. Those were his best movies. And so he has dreams. He wants to go to Alaska, and do some things in Alaska. And Lucy realizes that even though Henry is willing to go through all this for her and basically keep doing the same thing over and over and over every day, she says, I'm holding him back, so I have to erase him from my life. So she destroys her diary and destroys any evidence that she ever met him. But then she dreams about him. Now this is the part I don't understand. If she can't retain any new information, how is it possible that she can dream about him? So anyway, he leaves, and then one day he decides, he gets it in his mind, maybe she does remember who I am, because he remembered that she said that she dreamt about him, and she only sings on days when she meets him. She sings the song Wouldn't It Be Nice by the Beach Boys. So he goes back there and he says, do you remember me? And by this time she's moved out of her house with her father. She doesn't live with him or her brother anymore because she doesn't want to be a burden to them either. And she moves to a special clinic with people that have brain disorders, and she wants to be a teacher there. He says, do you remember who I am? She says no. But he decides to make her fall in love with him again. He leaves tapes on the TV that say, good morning, Lucy. You can't remember me because you've had this brain disorder. And eventually they reconcile. I really enjoyed this movie. By the way, they ended up having a daughter named Nicole. I enjoyed the hell out of this movie. I thought it was very bizarre with the whole anterograde amnesia thing. It's sort of like Groundhog Day. You're living the same day over and over and over again. Some people live the same minutes over and over and over again. Very, very strange. Very good performance. I thought Adam Sandler did a very good job. Drew Barrymore did a very good job. Rob Schneider, even the animals. They gave the movie a very comedic effect. I enjoyed the whole thing. It was directed by Peter Segal and it was written by George Wing. Ladies and gentlemen, February 13th, 2004. 51st dates. Like I said, it takes place in October of 2003. And basically, she's been doing the same thing for a year. So it's October 2004 at this point. Very bizarre movie. It has like a sort of Twilight Zone effect to it. She's reliving the same thing over and over. I loved it. I'm into weird stuff like that. That's my thing. So, I hope you guys enjoy it. It's on Hulu. Watch it while you can. And that's about it. Thank you guys for watching. I approve this message. Follow me on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram at the MyersFan25.